On April 28th, 2018, the Taylor Creek Fishing Camp held their annual Buddy Fishing Tournament. And we started out with the rules here. All the bass had to be over 14 inches in length and had to use artificial lures for catching the bass, but you could use shiners, worms, or whatever for catching catfish and specks and all the other fish. Now we started out at 6:30 in the morning, and boats were the 100 horsepower or less left at that time, and then the boats with the larger engines left about 10 minutes later. And all the boats had to be back in 2 p.m. in the afternoon. That's when we did the weigh-in and the measuring of the fish. The bass, we had a $100 prize for a total weight of 5 bass, which is max per boat. And the largest bass was $100. Then we had crappie and specks. Well, you know, same thing down here in Florida. Total weight for 5 max was $50. And then catfish, the largest catfish was $50. And then because we got quite a bit of trash fish out there, you know, mudfish, gar, tilapia and stuff. So the most that were brought in, I had a $30 price for that. We had some guests show up from Tennessee, and George and his good friend Tina, and another George. He's the one that brought all of the corn that we had in for our fresh corn cook. So everybody's actually sitting around, and here's Andrew. He was doing our cooking. He was firing up the smoker and getting things ready. And you see here he had 15 slabs of ribs that he prepared, and plus this huge brisket. Now we're all starting to sit around, and the boats are kind of coming in now. And some of the gals are prepping the area for the food. And Larry here brought his ice cream machine out and got set up. And Marty Turner and his wife Melody were already relaxing, waiting for the food to get put on. And here's Larry and his wife, lovely wife Pam, after they got the ice cream machine set up. And of course, immediately had to get sampled. And here's Andrew. He's got the ribs and the brisket pretty much done. He's putting the barbecue sauce on now and just letting them kind of glaze over. The boats are coming in at 2 o'clock, and we're starting our fish weighing and logging in. And Joe Tyree, the gentleman with the glasses, was our conductor of the fishing tournament. You can see the boats coming in now, and there's Kent Browning and had his catfish. His wife, I believe, Barbara, caught. And here's there's 5 fish that Mike Cummins and Bill Wally brought in to get weighed. And you notice right there in the upper left corner, that's that little crappie that Bill Wally brought in to log in. And there'll be more about that in a little bit. Now here's their 5 fish that they weighed in. And at the end of the video, I have the results. It has all the weights of all the fish and everything. Guys are coming in. There's Justin Malone, and he got the biggest bass. That's a nice bass he got there. That was the 4 fish that Rick Brown and Kyle brought in, and we were weighing them. And then Kyle brought in these 2. These are mudfish. Junk fish, we call them trash fish. They're not good to eat. Some guys will just take them and cut them up for bait. There's Justin with his big Wallcraft boat. I'm surprised he gets around out in the reservoir with that, but he does quite well. And there's Jeanette with her big catfish again. Fish it all brought in, and all the guys were kind of sitting around now. Andrew's finishing off on the ribs. So anybody, of course, they're starting to get into the ice cream. But we're almost getting there. There's Bill Wally and Mike Cummins with Justin and his partner Russ. And there's Joe Tyree, our tournament director, and there's Dave Cardone and his buddy Larry to his left, and then George Wilkerson here on the left. He's a guy that, again, that brought all our corn in. Marty and Melody and Jack McDonald, who was fishing with Marty today. And there's Andrew and his mother Betty, and they're helping get everything set up there. Diana Cummins brought her chocolate chip cookies and look, some brownies, and they were good. Just about ready. Getting here's some baked beans and some of the other condiments and side dishes being set up. You see brownies, potato salad, coleslaw, berries, melons. And then they had a little tray with all the toothpicks. We had some smoked sausage. We cut up a little bite size and put toothpicks in and handed out for samples while people were waiting for the ribs. Iced tea and lemonade. And there's the gang again, getting ready to getting hungry. There's Chris and Tina, or excuse me, Chris and Terry. Yep, there, Joe Tyree's getting into the corn. We had plenty of fresh corn. George had brought 4 cases of it. I think it was over 42 ears per case. We cooked up 2 cases and we still had some left over. All right, now we got the meat out and unwrapping it and ready to serve it. And it didn't take long for that line to form. There's some jalapeno cornbread. More salads showed up. Deviled eggs. There's some of our fresh corn. We must have had almost a case of it left over. Everybody's enjoying the meal. And I had a surprise visit. My son come from UCF, college, come over just for the cookout. A lot of happy faces. And we get in, started the awards. There's Kyle. He won the award for the most trash fish for his 2 mudfish that he brought in. He won $30 for that. Jeanette Powell got the largest, heaviest catfish. Got $50 for that. Bill Wally for half a pound speck. He won $50 because he's the only one that brought a speck in, or a crappie. And there's Mike. He got the total weight of the 5 bass. I think that speck that Wally got must have got coughed out of one of Mike's bass that he caught because it was so darn small. That's how he caught it. Just Malone got the largest bass, $100 prize. Here's Jeanette Powell's. She got a $50 for the 4.16 pound catfish. And then Kyle, his 2 mudfish, they weighed 6 pounds. And Mike Cummins' total weight 5 bass was 6 pounds. He got the $100 for that. And then Bill Wally for his 0.6 of a pound crappie, he got $50. And then Just Malone got the $100 for the largest bass. And unfortunately, Diane Cummins, she come back empty-handed. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video.